You wake up, but you're not in your room. There's no window, no sunlight, no silence. Instead, there's the constant roar of jet engines above your head, metal creaking around you, and over 100 other people breathing, shifting, snoring just a few feet away. You try to sit up and hit your head on the bed above you. Now imagine doing that every single day for 9 straight months in the middle of the ocean. Right now, thousands of American sailors are living this reality aboard U.S. Navy aircraft carriers. These aren't ships, they're floating cities, packed with over 5,000 people, running 24 hours a day without pause. And life on board is far more intense than most people can even imagine. Today, you're going to step inside that world. You're going to see what it really takes to sleep, eat, and survive on one of the most powerful war machines ever built. Not the polished version, the real version. And by the end of this, you might never look at an aircraft carrier the same way again. Before we go deeper, I want to know something from you. Could you handle living like this for even 1 month? Be honest. Drop your answer in the comments. Let's start with the most basic human need: sleep. But sleep on an aircraft carrier isn't rest, it's survival. You don't get a room, you don't get privacy. What you get is something called a rack. That's Navy language for a bed, but it barely qualifies as one. Each rack is about 6 feet long and just over 2 feet wide. The mattress is thin, stiff, and worn from constant use. And the space above you? About 20 inches. That's not enough to sit up, not even close. You slide in, you lie flat, and that's it. Now imagine that rack is stacked between 2 others, one above you, one below you, and they're all packed into a room with anywhere from 40 to 180 other sailors. Yes, up to 180 people in one space. You don't choose your schedule either. Aircraft carriers never stop operating. That means someone is always working, always moving, always making noise. While you're trying to sleep, someone else is getting dressed for their shift. Another person is coming back from duty. Someone drops something. Someone coughs. Someone's alarm goes off. And above all of that, jet engines. Fighter jets launch and land around the clock. The sound cuts through everything. It shakes the walls. It vibrates through your chest. You don't sleep peacefully. You crash when your body gives out. If you've ever had trouble sleeping at home, imagine doing it here. Tell me in the comments, what's the longest you've ever gone on little sleep? And it gets worse. Some sailors don't even see sunlight for days, sometimes weeks. If you work below deck, your entire world is artificial light and steel walls. You wake up in darkness, work in darkness, and go back to sleep in darkness. Your body loses track of time. Your mind starts to feel it. But there's no pause button, because the mission never stops. Now let's talk about something that keeps everyone going: food. Feeding over 5,000 people in the middle of the ocean sounds impossible. But on an aircraft carrier, it happens every single day, without fail. The kitchen, or galley, never closes. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and something called mid-rats, which is a late-night meal for those working overnight shifts. Altogether, that's around 17,000 to 18,000 meals every single day. Think about that. That's like running a massive city restaurant, non-stop, in the middle of the ocean. The scale is insane. Massive industrial kettles, giant ovens, mixers that can handle dozens of pounds of dough at once, deep fryers bigger than bathtubs, and behind all of it, around 100 Navy cooks working around the clock. In just 1 month, sailors can go through tens of thousands of gallons of drinks, tons of meat, endless supplies of bread, vegetables, and packaged goods. And all of it has to be delivered at sea. Supply ships pull up alongside the carrier while both are moving. They match speed, sometimes in rough conditions, and transfer hundreds of thousands of pounds of food using cables stretched across open water. It's risky, it's precise, and if something goes wrong, thousands of people feel it immediately. Now, the food itself? Let's be real, it's not luxury dining. It's cafeteria style. You grab a tray, move down the line, and take what's available. Some days it's solid, other days, not so much. But when you've been working for 12 to 15 hours, you're not picky. You eat what fuels you. Still, the Navy does try to boost morale. There are themed nights, special meals, even birthday dinners if you're deployed during your birthday. During holidays, the crew gets full celebrations, decorations, special menus, a taste of home, even thousands of miles away. And those moments matter more than you think. If you had to choose, would you prioritize good food or more sleep in this kind of life? Let me know what you'd pick. Now, let's get into the real challenge, the work. Because this is where things get intense. When the ship is at sea, there are no weekends, no breaks, no days off. You work every single day. Most sailors are on 12 to 15-hour shifts, but that's just the baseline. On top of your regular job, you might also have to stand watch. That means additional hours, sometimes pushing your total workload to extreme levels. Some sailors end up working close to 100 hours in a single week. Think about that. You wake up tired, you work all day, you grab food, maybe get a few hours of sleep. Then you do it again, over and over, for months. And depending on your job, the conditions can be brutal. Let's go to the flight deck. This is one of the most dangerous workplaces anywhere in the world. Jets are launching at full power. Helicopters are landing. Equipment is moving constantly. The noise is overwhelming. The wind from jet engines can knock you off your feet. One mistake, just one, can be life-threatening. Every role is critical. Every movement is coordinated, and there's zero room for error. Now go below deck. In engineering spaces, temperatures can climb past 120 degrees, sometimes even higher. These are the areas where sailors maintain the ship's power systems. It's hot, cramped, and physically exhausting. You can't stay there for long. People rotate in and out to avoid heat exhaustion, but the work still has to get done, day after day. If you've ever worked a physically demanding job, you'll understand a piece of this. What's the toughest job you've ever had? Drop it below. Now imagine doing that job, while being away from your family for up to 9 months. That's the reality of deployment. And in recent years, deployments have gotten longer. 8, sometimes 9 months at sea. That's 9 months of missing birthdays, holidays, everyday moments back home. It takes a toll. Not just on sailors, but on their families too. But something has changed recently. Something that's made a huge difference. For years, communication at sea was limited. Slow internet, long waits for phone access, minimal contact with loved ones. But now, that's evolving. Modern carriers are starting to use high-speed satellite internet systems. That means sailors can video call home, check messages, and stay connected in ways that weren't possible before. And that connection, it matters more than anything. After a long, exhausting day, being able to hear a familiar voice, see your family, it can completely change your mindset. Of course, in high-security situations, access can still be restricted, but when it's available, it's a major boost to morale. Do you think staying connected would make this kind of life easier? Or would it make being away even harder? I'm curious what you think. Now, even in this intense environment, sailors do get moments to breathe. There are gyms on board, places to work out, clear your head, stay physically strong. There are lounges, small stores, spaces to relax, even if just for a little while. And sometimes, something special happens. It's called a steel beach picnic. When the ship has been at sea for a long time, the crew transforms part of the flight deck into a temporary relaxation zone. There's food, music, games, even simple things like grilling and socializing. For a few hours, it almost feels normal. And those moments, they're priceless. Because they remind you that you're not just part of a machine, you're part of a crew, a team that depends on each other. And that brings us to something important, the human side of all this. Life on an aircraft carrier isn't just physically demanding, it's mentally challenging. You're in a confined space, surrounded by the same people every day, under constant pressure. There's stress, fatigue, homesickness. But there's also something else: camaraderie. The people around you, they become your support system, your friends, sometimes your family. You go through the same challenges together. You understand each other in a way no one else can. And that bond, it's what helps sailors push through. Now let's look at the bigger picture. Aircraft carriers are among the most powerful assets in the world. They project strength, respond to crises, and operate across every ocean. But behind all that power are people. Thousands of individuals working long hours, sacrificing comfort, and staying ready at all times. And while technology continues to improve, while ships become more advanced, one thing doesn't change: the human effort it takes to keep everything running. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you something. After hearing all this, do you have a new level of respect for the people serving on these ships? Let me know your thoughts. Because the truth is, most people never see this side of military life. They see the ships, the headlines, the power, but not the daily reality. Not the tight spaces, the long hours, the constant pressure. And that's why stories like this matter. Because they give you a glimpse into a world most will never experience. So next time you hear about an aircraft carrier operating somewhere in the world, remember what's happening behind the scenes. Remember the thousands of sailors living, working, and pushing through conditions most people couldn't handle. And if you found this eye-opening, make sure you stick around. Because there's a lot more about life at sea that most people don't know, and we're just getting started.